Hello, hello, hello. So we will be discussing my latest post on Instagram, which is how the elite and the upper class in the society see marriage as compared to how commoners see marriage. Marriage is very, very important to them because that's like one of the key. It's very foundational. Marriage is very foundational, and they are very particular about marriage. Now, to the elite and the upper class families, marriage is more of an alliance and a transaction. When you go down history, people give their daughters and their sons out in marriage to form alliance, to sustain a cycle, to leave a legacy. So to the elite and the upper class families, marriage is more of an alliance and a transaction. It's very transactional to them. The people at the echelon of society actually see everything from a transactional perspective. That's why commoners, people at the low class, they just want to take. But at that level of social status, people believe they owe themselves. So everything is transactional. You know, if you do something for them, they believe they owe you one. But if you do something for a poor man, someone that belongs to the lower class, the commoners in the society, they just believe they have entitlement. So they see especially marriage as but to the commoners, marriage is merely an emotional roller coaster. I love you, hey, I feel good about you feel good about me, yeah, let's go and marry. The elite and the upper class, they see marriage as a platform to sustain a legacy of wealth transfer, power, and influence. They want to keep it in that circle. They want to keep it in the circle of the people who they believe are experienced, people who are competent, people who have had, successes over the years. They don't want to risk that. They don't want to risk their wealth, their power, their influence, what they have built for years. They don't want to risk it with people who haven't tasted that kind of life. But to the commoners, emotional roller coaster is based on feelings. It's just feelings. I feel good for you, you feel. But feelings, the reason why the elite and the upper class in the society are very particular about transferring wealth, legacy, power, and influence through marriage is because change at the end of the day, uh, elite and the upper class families, they just think these people are mean. They're just after the money. Why wouldn't they let their daughter marry me? And I'm not saying we have not had cases where someone from a poor family married someone from a very wealthy and powerful family. And I'm not talking about middle class people. I'm not talking about people who are just, they are richer than the people in their community. I'm talking about the upper class, elite, sophisticated families. That's the family I'm talking about. We've had cases where, someone from the lower class, the commoners, married someone from the upper class and the elite in the society. That's like 1 out of a million. But 98.5% of the time, it doesn't always work out. Because I'm very close to this category of people, and I'm always very careful around their daughters, because can I tell you the truth? These people have this mentality. They believe that poverty, one of the ways to transfer poverty from one generation to another is through marriage. And poor people are always thinking in terms of poverty. They put their feelings first, their emotions first. They don't put their logic and reasoning first. This is bitter truth. I'm just telling you as plain as it is, 100%. I'm not from the upper, class myself, so I've had instances where I got close to a family, and then very strong, powerful people, and then one of their daughters started catching feelings, and because I know I've gone into the minds of these people. I know how they think. I had to help her reset her brain, because they owe it to their family. It's to them. It is a duty. Children from the elite and the upper class families, it is a duty. Loyalty is a duty. It's not about their feelings. They can love you from here till eternity, but when it is time to marry and their family says no, it is no, because their family didn't just pay their school fees. Everything they are, the air they breathe, everything they are, their family made them what they are. The very life that they are living, their family gave it to them, so they owe that duty and that loyalty to their family. That's quite different from many of us who, you left the house when you were a teenager. Your father, the best they did for you was paid your school fees. So it's easier for a child of a commoner to say, I'm going to go for love. I don't care what my family says. But it's hard for someone from the elite and upper class family to just, go against their family. And we have to look at the psychology of this, so we don't judge this, because we are quick to judge them, because we were always catching feelings. But them, it's about transfer of is transgenerational wealth, power, influence. Is about legacy. It's not about feelings. It's not about emotions. To them, it's like royalty. The father is king, son must be the heir to the throne, and then after him, another person must come. So they must keep that. That's the way they see it. What kind of family are you coming from? Who is your father? What's your father's position in the society? What's your social status? So it's more than as a young man myself, I've been able to build some things for myself. It's totally different from that. And this is why commoners resent the powerful and the wealthy in society, because of this thing. But when you start looking at it as a third person, and you stop being emotional about it, you would understand that for them it's about legacy and wealth transfer and transfer of power, and it must be transgenerational. It must be transgenerational. It must move from one person to another. And they don't want any shock therapy, like, hey, this boy from this poor family just joined us. To them, is a shock, like in the equation, in the flow of things, in the process of building transgenerational, wealthy, powerful, influential lineage. You from the commoner group, poor home, coming to them is like a shock, like, what? They are afraid, like, this guy can ruin everything we have built. So what point am I trying to make? If you're going for someone who is not from the same social state or social class as you are, and you are denied, don't take it personal. That's the way. One of the biggest lessons I learned in the last 2 years is see people and the world the way they are, not the way you want them to be. This is the way it is, so that's the way it is. I don't have to change it. I may not be able to change it, but I can change the way I see it. I can change the way I see it. And what does that teach us? It teaches us, even the Bible says that a good father leaves an inheritance for his children's children's children. So it teaches us that we are meant to build transgenerational wealth. Money is a defense. We don't want to get old at 70, 80, and then we are angry with wealthy people because we had same opportunities that we did not maximize. And opportunities of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. And this is the way the world operates. Don't let anyone deceive you. Money is a defense. Wealth is power. I'm not saying that it is not possible for you to meet someone who is from that class and then you guys are able to get together, but there is a whole lot of drama, and you're not a character in a Nollywood movie. There's a whole lot of drama. The whole thing is usually messed up. You know, they think you're a gold digger, you want to come and do this, you want to come and do that. To them, I know a couple that both of them from very low class family. They are very wealthy now. The man is like in his 60s, the woman is in her 50s, and they came together and got married, and they've been able to build an empire together. So one day I was just having dinner with them, and I asked them, "Oh, so your son, when is your son getting married?" Soon. I was like, "Oh, who is he getting married to?" They mentioned the name of the person the son is getting married to. The girl is not from a poor family either, but these two people, they are from the lowest of the lowest class of people in the society. But because they've been able to build this, now it is too much of a risk for them to allow their son to go and bring in somebody who has not lived their life. It is a risk. They don't want to lose everything they have built, and that's the way they see it. So one of the main lessons to get from this video: opportunities of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. When people say things like they choose happiness over money, it's just one of the most stupid statements to make. Because there is nobody who cannot provide for their needs and that of the people they are responsible for, and they are happy. So you cannot be happy when you are in need. When the people that you are responsible for are suffering, you can't be happy. So what do you mean you are choosing happiness over money? You know, one of the things I've seen about our society, especially in this part of the world, is that when people lose faith in their ability to make a lot of money, when they lose faith in that ability, they build restrictions and limitations because they believe they cannot make more than this. Then they start talking down on money because they don't believe that they have the capacity to make more than the money they are making at the moment. So they start talking down. That's why you hear them say money is evil. They start saying negative things about money. But you can make more and more and more and more. And in this, we need to make more, especially in this year 2020. There are a lot of you that you have this passion to help people. How do you help people if you are broke? How are you going to help people if you are broke? How do you help people? And by the way, one of the ways to help poor people is not to sympathize with them. Sympathizing with poor people will not make you rich. It will only make you poor. So the only way to help the poor is to get rich. To protect your wealth. To multiply your wealth. That's the only way to help the poor. You cannot help the poor in the society because the poor will always have. It's a choice at the end of the day. So it's important that you leave that circle of complainers and haters, people. They just don't like rich people. They just hate them. They just see everything rich people do as evil. Because you're going to have children. You don't want your children to be victims of their father or their mother's, inability to take advantage of the opportunities presented before them. We've had several jokes where people were saying, "Where was my father when Dangote was this? Where was my father when Femi Todola was doing this? Where was my father?" and all that. It sounds like a joke, but then those kind of things, they get to me a lot. I'm like, I don't want my children to make such jokes about me. So at the end of the day, life is a choice. Life is a choice. Thank you for watching.